guys, so I hope everyone are doing great. If you are new to our channel, I heartily welcome you to our channel. And if you are already existing viewer, thank you so much for being with us. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so as you already read the title, we are discussing one of the most important topic in the AWS, so which is called as a EC2 instance. Okay, so what is the EC2 instances? What are this terminology? We are going to discuss about those things. And if you haven't watched over about the previous video, what is a virtual machine, it is better to watch that first, because this video and that video is related. So if you don't know about what is a virtual machine, you can watch that and can come here. If you already know what the virtual machine is, then you can continue with this video. Okay, so let's start it then. And before that, mm, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe it. Because of your one subscribe, we can reach out to more people, and more people means more people can get knowledge because of you. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe it. So let's start it then. So what is the EC2 instance in AWS? What is very important? So you see, EC2 instances is nothing but a virtual machine in AWS, actually, in the cloud. So what is a virtual machine is? It's a, we already discussed in our previous video. Okay, so virtual machine is nothing but it's not a local computer laptop you are using in the cloud. Okay, so you are using a machine. Okay, so over there, within a single click of a button, you can run up any kind of a machines you want. Okay, so if you want a Ubuntu machine, if you want a Windows machine, if you want a Mac OS machine, okay, so anything you can run up within a click of a button. And the configuration also, why people go for the cloud is because how much configuration the cloud gives. Okay, so the configuration, in the sense, it is nothing but the RAM, amount of RAM, the storage, the CPU cores, everything you can choose. So right now you want a 16 GB. In future, if your application grows, you 32 GB you need. In future, you need a 128 GB of RAM. Okay, within a single click of a button, within a minute, you can get those configuration, which is very hard when you are maintaining the local servers in your office or in your on premises. So that's the power of the cloud. So that is what EC2 instance also solve. It is give a literally you the computer, Windows computer, you can use it in a cloud. So that is what EC2 instances. So the use cases can be many things. Okay, so you can deploy your website, or you can run your machine learning applications. For everything we need a servers, right? If we want to do something, we need a server in order to process everything. If you are literally want to do a single very small task also, for that also we need some amount of RAM, we need some amount of storage, we need some amount of CPU cores. So this is all thing given by the EC2 instance. So EC2 instances are managed server, so you have to manage it. What are the managed server in the sense? So in future, if you want a more GB of RAM, more storage, more CPU cores, or anything you need, so it's your responsibility to add those things. So that is what called a managed servers. So in future, if the website crash or a server crash also, so you have to look into it, what happened. Okay, so that's how it is. So what is the EC2? So one of the main thing why people go for the cloud is because of the how the price is. Okay, so that is we call it as a pricing models. So AWS basically have three pricing models. One is on demand, one is reserved instances, another one is spot instances. So what is on demand? So on demand is nothing but whenever you are using any server in the cloud, you are paying the amount only what you are using, how much you are using. So in outside, if you are buying a laptop or a computer, even though you when you buy it 60,000, 70,000, after that you use it or don't use it, you already paid, right? So in cloud it will be not like that. So in cloud, if you want to use it for only 1 hour, you only give the money for that only 1 hour. If you go want to for 2 hours, use that. give only money for 2 hours. And here also you don't have to pay the money first. You use it, whatever you want, at the end of the month you will get the bill. No upfront you have to give. Okay, so that is what on demand. So the second one is reserved instance. So what is the reserved instance? So all these pricing models are cheaper compared to the other pricing models. Okay, so reserved instances are cheaper than the on demand. So reserved instances are nothing but, so here you are making an agreement with the AWS, like I am using this server for some 3 years, and you are making an agreement, and after that AWS give you a some amount of a discount on those servers, so it will be priced less compared to the on demand. So because here you are making agreement, so AWS also understand that this customer is going to be last long with us, right? So here in a resolved instances you are giving some upfront money, like some assume apart from 100 percentage, like some 10-20% you are giving the money, and the rest of the thing you are paying until 3 years. So because of this agreement, okay, so again the price will be reduced. And again another thing come is spot instances. So what are the spot instances? In the sense, it is a very interesting pricing model where what happens is, if AWS usually have many servers, and all servers will not be used every time by everyone, right? So some of the servers may be unused. So what AWS do is, so based on that unused servers they open the bidding. So this spot instances work based on the supply and demand concept. So how it works is, so assume AWS have one unused server, and they open the bidding for, okay, $1 for this one server. So it's people start bidding on that one. Some person say $10, some person say $20, some person say $30. So whoever the most bidding rate is there, so for that person that instance will be given. So remember one thing here, okay, one thing you have to catch is, so whenever the person say $20, I will give $20, give me this. But AWS said that $1 for this server, right? So however, the person willing to give $20, but the bill is going to be based on the only 1 hour, sorry, $1. Okay, so now what happens is, the person, it will be assigned to that person, and person started using that server. Now as I told, it's a supply and demand kind of a concept. Now if the demand goes up, definitely price is going to up, right? So $1 become $2, $3, $4. Based on the demand the price will increase. So it will until go, it, that server will be until with that person until $20 will be reached, because he set the $20. Once that reached, AWS will automatically take that server back. So here one thing you have to concentrate. So when we said it is a very cheap, okay, spot instances are very cheap compared to those on demand and the result. It is very cheap. So we may think that, okay, so if it is a cheap, why don't we use this one? Why should not we use? Because in some cases, because as I told, it's a supply and demand kind of a concept. So we don't know at what time what happens, at what time what the server price will be based on the demand. So whenever the price changes, and don't have the limit, so automatically AWS will revert back, take that server from you. As I told, you set the $20 limit, but the based on the demand price goes up. Assume some $20 it become right now, $25 it become right now. So AWS will revert back that server. It will give you 2 minutes of warning, because that server is going to be shut down. Okay, so that's it. After that the instance, the server will going to be taken back. So when you don't have to use this, because we don't know when the server is going to be shut down. So in that case, it is very unpredictable, because it kind of a bidding game is going on over there. Okay, it is kind of a very unpredictable at what time the server goes down, when the AWS will take it back. So whenever you have a critical application, never and you don't compromise on shutting down in unexpected time, never use the spot instances. You go for the on demand reserved. Over there, until you turn off the instances, it will never be turned off. When you have a testing kind of application where you need a little bit of testing you want to do, where you don't care about if the servers goes down also at unexpected time suddenly, I don't care, because my application is not that much critical. So in that case, you can go for the spot instances where it is very cheap, the price. So that is how it is works. So just a reminder guys, so if you made it this far, then it's clear that you are really passionate about the learning and growing your skills. So don't forget to subscribe the channel to stay updated with the effective educational videos. Okay, so thank you so much, and let's continue. Okay, so the next thing is storage. So storage is also important because you want to store something whenever you are deploying any application, website, okay, packages or anything you want to store, right? So for that you need a storage for the EC2, right? So when you do pip install something or you want to store some files, you need a storage. So to hold the storage, okay, so AWS have some three storages. EC2, AWS EC2 mainly have three storage classes. One is EBS, another one is EFS, another one is instant store. So what is EBS in the sense? So EBS is nothing but it is attached to your EC2 instance. Okay, one server is there, one storage is there. Okay, it is attached to this one. So EBS is kind of a normal, okay, hard disk how we have computer. Okay, so like that it will be there. SSD or hard disk, it will be there storage. So EBS you have to remember is, so the main thing, so for one EC2 instance, okay, or for one EBS, only one EC2 instance you can attach. For one EBS, only one EC2 instance. You cannot attach multiple EC2 instance to the same EBS. You cannot do that one. So that is what EBS is. So here, if your server goes down also, if your server crashes also, so whatever the data you have, it will be stored. It will not be lost. Okay, so it is data will be persisted inside the EBS. So now, what if you want multiple AWS EC2 instances are there, and everyone want a single storage, centralized storage they need, because many people are working in different EC2 instances and want to access the file from the same storage. Okay, some data, some CSV file you kept, and many people are using that. Many EC2 instances are using that one. If you keep it in EBS, here in EBS multiple EC2 instances cannot attach to the single EBS, right? Nobody can access that file because one for one EBS only one EC2 instance. So here comes the EFS. So what is the EFS? EFS is a centralized storage. EFS is centralized storage where you can attach multiple EC2 instances to the same EFS. So if you store one CSV file, multiple EC2 instances can use that one. Okay, so one thing again you have to remember is when you are using the EBS over there, if you right now you have 8 GB of storage, in future you need a 16 GB, you have to manually go and increase that one. AWS will not do that one in behalf of you. You have to manually go over there, you have to select it how much storage you want and click on OK. But in EFS it is not like that. In EFS it will be automatically scaled based on the demand, based on how the access and everything is going on. It will automatically scale. Manually you don't have to do anything. Okay, so however the because of this price is going to be up for the EBS, right? Because many people are accessing the same, many instances are accessing the same centralized storage, and auto scaling is also happening over here, so price is going to be up. So another thing is AWS have instant store. So instant store is nothing but, okay, remember this EBS and EFS, these both are networkly attached. So what are networkly attached is, so it is a very important network attached is, so it is kind of a not physically attached. So if you have a server, you directly don't installed that hard disk or SSD inside that server. This is somewhere and this is somewhere. Based on some connection network, it has been attached. So in your computer, in your laptop, directly hard disk and SSD is installed, right? Hard disk. So networkly storage in the sense, networkly attached in the sense, think of Google Drive. It is storage, but it is network in somewhere it is. Okay, so that's how it is. Here, if your computer goes down, crashes also in a Google Drive or somewhere, okay, it will be there, right? It will not be lost. So that is what called as networkly attached. In EBS and in EFS, it will be networkly attached to your server. But if you need a cheaper price, there is an option called instant store. This is another kind of a storage. So in instant store, it is physically attached to your server. So now that hard disk or SSD, it is physically installed in your servers. So now one thing you have to remember is, so here if the your server goes down, if your server crashes, whatever the data inside it, it is deleted. It will be lost in the instant store. Remember. So that's why instant store is very cheap. So there is no headache of maintaining the backup, right? For the AWS also. So that is why it is very cheap. And basically you use instant store only because of some small if you are using a cache data or any temporary data, and you are okay that, okay, if the this data goes down, goes deleted also, you don't care. At that case you use this one. Otherwise you need a persistent data, so where this data is very critical, we can't lose this one, then you can go for the EFS or EBS. Okay, so the next thing comes is security groups. So security is one of the important topic when you go for the cloud, because your server is inside the internet and it is exposed to the internet and anybody can touch it. If someone can touch it, they can get into that server. So that's why it's your responsibility to make that who access the server and who don't. So AWS, it all comes into the security groups where you mention this person can access my website, this person can access my server, and this person should not. So security groups have two types. Okay, inside that two concept will come. One is inbound rules and outbound rules. So you want, okay, so there is a one website is there and there is a one admin is there. You want that admin only can access that website. You can do that. What you have to do, just take that IP address of that person computer and give here in inbound rules in security group. So what inbound rules in the sense, so here your server from internet, the traffic is coming to your server. If the admin make a request, you want to access some files, want to visit the website, okay, it is coming from the internet to the server, right? So that is what called the inbound rules. So in inbound rules, what you mention, that's IP address, who want to access that. So if you mention one IP address over there in a inbound, other than that, nobody in the world can access that server apart from that admin. Okay, so that is what inbound rules. Inbound rules, you mention that what are the traffic you are accepting. So if you mention it over there, all means everybody can, all over the world can access your website or your server. And the same goes for the outbound rules also. Outbound rules, you mention what kind of a traffic should go out from the server. All these things you will mention it. Okay, so inbound rules are very important when you can't able to access the website or some error, you want to refused host kind of a error you will see in the internet when you are using the website. Some case, many cases, it will be because of the this security only, you didn't allow that one. Okay, so you have to be very careful based on the use case, which IP address you open, which port you open. Okay, so because If you accidentally open any port, then anybody can hit that port and get into the server. Okay, so that's why be careful with the security groups. So next thing is instance type. So instance servers, you can use it interchangeably because AWS call it as a instances instead of the servers virtual machine. Really, okay. So here what happens is instance type, because whenever you are buying any computer also in locally, you buy it based on the configuration i3, i7, and this much cores of CPU is there, and this much RAM, storage. These are configuration is there, right? So in AWS also, when you are buying a server, so you have to it will be shown over there. Okay, configuration, different configurations, and every configuration is categorized for different use cases, because every one use case will not be different, sorry, not be the same. So gaming company have different use case, e-commerce company have a different use case, financial company have a different use case, and data analytics company have a different use case. So what this is, so every configuration are optimized for something. Okay, so some use cases need a very memory intensive application, some application, and in some application they used a very storage intensive application will be there. If you take a data analytics company, so they analyze based on the data, huge amount of petabyte, terabyte of data they will analyze. So over there you need a storage to optimize the servers. And if you are running uh, a machine learning application or something like that, so over there GPU will be heavily utilized, right? So over there you have to choose the GPU optimized servers. And if your moderate level of application is running, then they have that one also. So T2, T3, it is like that. When you go for the, what I can say, GPU intensive, when you want to run the machine learning or something like that, you can go for the P series, G series. Okay, so this is how it categorized. So you don't have to remember all these code words or anything. Just based on your use case, how your application is your application storage intensive, your application is GPU intensive. Okay, based on that you can choose it. Another thing is, in AWS comes the AMI. So AMIs are nothing but Amazon machine images. So what is the AMI is nothing very simple it is. So what happens, right now you created one server with a different configuration. So 8 GB of RAM, 16 GB of storage, this core of CPU, this OS or everything you selected, some different parameters. So right now, what you have to, so assume you are creating the same kind of a server many times, some 100 200 times you are creating. So are you going to use the same configuration, like selecting each and everything, okay, every time? Are we going to do that one? We can do that one, but it will be a time taking one, right? So that's why, because 100 times we cannot select the same thing again and again and again, right? So this is where AMI comes into the picture. AMI is nothing but it's an image, it is kind of a template. So the same configuration, once you set that one, 8 GB, 16 GB of storage, some 2 cores of CPU, you make it as a template you will make. And whenever in future, if you are host buying any server, you will use this template. So when you use this template, automatically all the configuration will be applied and it automatically it will be launched. So you don't have to select those again and again and again. Okay, so that is what AMI is. So yeah, so this is it for today and for this video, and we will see the hands-on in the next video. Hands-ons are very important. So if you are watching this video and watch that video also, because both will be interconnected, because knowing the concept and doing the hands-on both need to be there. So that's why stay tuned with the next video. Thank you so much guys for watching the video, and if you find it very knowledgeable for you, don't forget to subscribe it, and don't forget to like and share it with the colleagues and fellow mates also. Okay, because of your one subscribe, as I told, it will be, we can reach out to more people, and the knowledge will be distributed with multiple people. Okay, so thank you so much.